What's up, tribe? Hey. Hey. I'm full of positivity. Nothing can stop me. Divinity chose me. Hey. And when it rains, we don't run now. Life is getting better. Hey. And we walk with our heads high. We in the fast lane. Hey. Now our gifts make a way. We in our purpose. Hey. We had to learn to surrender. What's the only way? We pulled the mask off. And now we live in mask off. Hey. And now we live in mask off. Hey. We pulled the mask off. Hey. I'm full of positivity. I'm full of positivity. Nothing can stop me. Divinity chose me. And when it rains, we don't run now. Life is getting better. Hey. And we walk with our heads high. We in the fast lane. And our gifts, they make a way. We in our purpose. Hey. We had to learn to surrender. What's the only way? We pulled the mask off. And now we live in mask off. Hey. Hey. And now we got the mask off. Hey. I'm full of positivity. Nothing can stop me. Divinity chose me. Hey, I'm full of positivity. Nothing can stop me. Divinity chose me. Hey, hey. And when it rains, we don't run now. Life is getting better. And we walk with our heads high. We in the fast lane. Now our gifts, they make a way. We in our purpose. Hey. We had to learn to surrender. What's the only way? We pulled the mask off. And now we live in mask off. Hey. And now we got the mask off. Hey. Hey. off. Mask off. Hey. Hey. Go. Hey. 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 We're feeling good in our spirit. We hope you can hear it. Good in our spirit. Hey. We're here with a message. Accept or reject it. Hey. But keep your spirit protected. Hey, 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 hey. Hey tribe, hope you guys are doing well and positive energy, attracting the life you desire, because it's your birthright, okay? I'm not a sequel. All right, we're coming back with another one for you guys. Take the message how it resonates in your life. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. And don't forget, if you love the video, to run your girl and your boy up with some hearts. I am so glad that you are feeling good. I can't see your name. What's the name on there? I can't see. But I'm so glad that you are feeling good. That is
Heaven.
Heaven. I love that. You know, Nevaeh. Spelled backwards, Heaven?
No, this one is spelled H-E-V-I-N.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that you are feeling well and doing good in your spirit. You deserve it. It's your birthright, okay? So we're coming through with another message for you guys, and let's get into it. Let's tap into this energy.
Tap into this energy.
Right? All praise to the Most High God and ashe to the ancestors, okay?
God bless you all. God bless you all. Let me... Yes, like a little bitch. Okay, yeah, I had a little angle. God bless everyone. I pray everyone is in good spirits. So, I've been studying the Shakti Shiva principles, and it's been enlightening for me. So, I've been drawing downloads as I've been going along, and Spirit led me to a place, and it's called, for me, the shedding of mask, right? Mask. The word M-A-S-K, mask, right? And I just want to tap into it right quick. So the definition of mask, according to Webster, is a cover, partial cover, or other covering used for disguise or concealing something. Also worn as amusement, a mask. But the etymology of mask, it opens up a darker texture. That's why I like the etymology of words, because it opens up a whole different meaning. Like in this case, the etymology of mask is from a Latin word known as masca, right? Meaning specter, nightmare, or uncertain origin. Uncertain origin. And Spirit had me thinking about the shedding of mask and led me to this download. So I wrote it in 4 parts, and I'm going to give you 2. So it's 4 parts to this. I call them essentials to shedding the mask, right? So to help you identify if you're wearing a mask or whatever. Now, the first one is the agreement of persona, limited beliefs, limited expectations, right? This is a mask, right? So it's an agreement that we make to wear a persona. A persona is the image that you exude. You know, it's the image that precedes you. It's what people see. It's the it's the you that people come to know, right? And many people work hard on it. But inside of your persona also lies an agreement to be a certain way, an agreement to process life from a certain aspect, an agreement to even process knowledge which you have. So it becomes a mask that needs to be shedded, right? In order for you to, because we're speaking about integrating your dark and your light, or your feminine or your masculine energy. So you have to begin to shed layers of mask, right? And also limited beliefs. This is a mask that you agree to wear. We go through life, and some people wear the mask so well, they demonstrate and perform um, with causes that they don't even support in secret, because it's a mask, right? It becomes a mask that needs to be shedded. And limited beliefs, it stands in a way. It forces you to a place where you become conformed to a certain way of believing, and it can stop you from, you trying to move into your higher self, hopefully, if you connected to this channel. And it says also limited expectancy. This is something that becomes a mask. Like you begin to say, well, I'm not going to achieve that much because of my makeup, who I am. It's oftentimes shaped by the environment that we come up in. It becomes a mask that you wear, that you have to shed. Like the limited expectations from yourself, not from the world at large, but what you expect you to do. And number 2 is character assimilations and pretensions, right? The rhythm of appearing as a person you're not, or even working to become, right? This is a mask. Character assimilations, like pretensions. So this is basically what you learn how to do, right? Along with that was celebrity influenced behavioral patterns, right? This is a mask. As we go along in life, think of how many times you heard a song, or you had a favorite artist, or you had a movie star, and you literally adapted patterns that looked like them or made you feel like them, but it was the spirit you was embracing, because the actor was reflecting an illusion, which is an image. It's a spirit, right? So in order for you to move ahead, the shedding of masks, the rhythm of appearing a person you're not, or working to become, right? So many people are taught that, showing up in the world, and you appear to be one way, but in your personal life, that's not who you are or who you are working to become. In order for you to get into your north node, your good self, that's a mask that you gotta let go. And like I said, character assimilations, pretensions, right? The things that you do that are pretensions. Some people have jobs where they gotta go pretend every day, right? But I'm gonna tell you, like, eventually, all of the pretending is gonna, when God says the real you has to come out. All of the pretensions, they gonna become exhausting. Like you're gonna find yourself like, I don't feel like keeping up with that today, right? And it's because the real you is screaming to get out. So that was the shedding of masks. I got a few more, but I'm gonna hold tight right there. Like, I just wanted to put 2 out there.
That was real good, and I got something good with that. I didn't know that you were going to have that, so I'm like, I wrote something, and I feel like it would go with that. So I wasn't prepared to read it, but I'm going to find it because it is in here.
Okay, while she looking, I'm gonna go into the 4th one then.
Okay.
Low vibrational survival instincts, right? Fear-based strategies. This is a mask, right? Avoidance, abuse. It becomes a mask that you hide behind, particularly spirit saying avoidance, like putting off the things that you got to do or the things that you got to face in order for you to become the best version of you, or attempt to. You can't, it can't be your survival instincts, which we all have. They can't be low vibrational. Like, they need to be more crown chakra energy, more like, like I said, like, I'm just trying to give some examples of low vibrational survival instincts, and I keep being stranded between abuse and avoidance. Like, like the things that we choose to abuse, the things that we choose to avoid, they become fear-based survival tactics, right? And if we're going to reach our higher self, so Spirit says we got to really begin to face those demons. Like, you can't avoid a demon you assigned to do battle with. You got to fight it.
Okay, so mask off. It was crazy because I had some thoughts that, Spirit had given me some downloads. God has given me some downloads. And I was like, well, no, I'm not going to speak about them right now. But, I feel like it goes perfectly with his downloads. That's how God works. The gifts go together. So as he was speaking about mask, Spirit has been giving me, God has been giving me all week. Lala, there are so many people that are so confused, and I was like, well, what do you mean, God? And God was like, while people are elevating spiritually to be able to just have a new outlook on life, there are some people that don't realize that they are, sacrificing themselves for some things. So I just wanted to speak on this, okay? So I was sitting here and I was thinking, there's become a popular thing to represent all kinds of things nowadays, right? And one of the things I notice in the spiritual community is the Orisha. Okay, so I'm going to speak on this. The Orisha are a manifestation of how do you say his name? I can't even get it out. Aldemar, right? So the Orisha are a manifestation of him, which would be considered God, right? And it's believed that in the Yoruba tradition, it's believed that these spirits will help them in life to carry out different these spirits will help them by carrying out different rituals and helping them to be able to achieve their destiny in life that God planned for them, right? So with that being said, right, there's a lot of people doing things with the Orisha. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to just give a little bit of knowledge. Culture appropriation also came to me. So let's talk about culture appropriation. It is the act of taking elements from a culture that isn't your own and using them without understanding or respect of their original context.
Come on now.
Right? So what do you mean, Lala, and why are you talking about this? See, many people, you have, many of the people that we speak to have been raised maybe Christian, Baptist, whatever, right? And, Jesus Christ, right? And in your spiritual journey, I don't know if there's a lot of confusion is what God is telling me. I don't know if there's a lot, I believe there's a lot of misconceptions in the spiritual community. And I feel like, I'm here to be a reminder to someone to keep God first. I know a lot of things look appropriate because, I got black skin. My ancestors are literally from Benin, right? I have ancestors from Benin, Togo, Cameroon, I like all of that, right? However, I also know that, if the Orisha are manifestation of God and I am doing rituals and I'm performing rituals that are supposed to help me reach the destiny that God created for me, in my opinion, I'm going to stick to the God that I know because I've always worked with God directly, and I feel like I don't have to do any rituals to get to God, right? I go straight to God, right? So I don't have to use any kind of rituals. So I guess my reason for saying this, God keeps bringing to me idols. There's a lot of people idolizing things. There's a lot of people that are doing things that they don't have information on, and I think it's very important to speak on it. I'll use Oshun for number one. Everybody knows Oshun, right? I believe Beyonce may have spoke about Oshun. Oshun is well known, right? A lot of people know Oshun, however, right? So don't be confused. Make sure you understand what you're doing. You should not be worshiping anything but the God of your understanding. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. So whoever God is to you and your understanding is who you should be worshiping, right? I think people are getting things confused and idolizing things which separates you from God. And I'm not here to confuse anybody because the God that I serve, Yahweh, is not a God of confusion. And I feel like there's so many people confused because people are putting their hands in so many different things that they truly have no knowledge of, right? We watched a documentary maybe 2 days ago, and it was about how actually a guy who travels. You know, he happened to gone to Benin. I sat there and I watched a man be sacrificed in a ritual with blood that he had, and he was fully, you know, they say that the devil can't come in unless you invite him. Well, he invited himself to be put into a ritual, and I watched him in a ritual with blood. Now, I'm not here to judge whether the ritual is demonic or of light. What I am here to tell you is, you know, stick to the basics, you know, stick to whatever it is that God gave you from the beginning. You don't necessarily have to go jumping into several different things to find your way or your place. And I feel like people are getting confused in this spiritual community, and that's not, we don't want to be a representation of that. So.
Okay. So I was holding a few things in as she was going along, and overall, I just want to give a general statement as to perhaps why you don't want to find yourself worshiping things, right? Reason being, first reason being, everything has a light side and a dark side. Everything. Even the God of the Bible that many believe in speaks of a jealous side of God, which is a dark side, right? One of the reasons why people fall victim to energies like the Orisha is because you go into a situation with a higher power, unbalanced, unknowing of your own self, moreover, unaware of your own compatibility with the deity that you're trying to ascend to, right? So what happens in a situation like that? People do rituals, they make deals with these deities in the act of worship. They don't make offering, they make sacrifice, which is a difference, right?
They want blood.
And what happens is, when they go to this level of sacrifice, they don't realize the power that they experience. It costs portions of them that they don't understand. It covers generations that have not yet come because the price is heavy. There's a black wasp right here, a black one. The price is heavy, right? So I know I'm speaking the truth. So what happens is, when you go in and you make deals, that's why they call it making a deal with the devil. You know why? Because you actually making a deal with a deity that is a positive representation of nature, right? All the Orishas, they are venerated of nature. Nevertheless, doesn't nature have a dark side? Can't you go outside and touch a plant or eat a plant that'll unalive you? Ain't it a bug out there that'll unalive you? Ain't it? Because it's a duality. So, thenceforth, when you go in and you begin to make these deals and you begin to make these whatever you make, when they do that, I don't do black magic, but when you do these things, what essentially happens is, if you unbalance, what happens when that deity wants the darker side of you? How do you balance it? Some people can't because they owe too much. So they automatically feel a sense of a lost soul, as if like, that's how you get played and baited into spiritual entanglements and situations with high vibrational energies. And these energies, they represent light and dark energy. It's a dark side like it's a light side. So if you unbalance, how can you deny? How can you deny a higher power that you make a deal with? How can you, because you worship, how can you deny what's to come? You in too far, some people, right? So, yeah, that's basically what she's saying. Like, we don't encourage the act of worshiping thing, whatever your God is, you know what I mean? Your God of your understanding. We all have our God. I move in the authority of Christ, the name of Yahweh, Yahshem, Elohim, however you want to refer to it. The same energy that the ones before me moved in, right? Some people, they move with other energies, right? But it's all predicated upon the balance in you. Even the God, see, people don't realize the God that reflects the image through the Bible, if you break it down in Hebrew terms, that God had a war. It's a God of war. Everything has a light and a dark side. Every higher power. So the balance lies in you. So don't go jumping in bed with things that you're not compatible with.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been heavy on me. I feel, I don't know. I just see so many things, and I feel like there's so many people that are so confused, and maybe they're just looking for a way. And it's sad when you go from one extreme to the next. And I just, I feel like I just want to be a clear representation of, we don't believe in worshiping things. We don't use, a lot of people even are, amused that we don't use a lot of things for we don't do rituals and all these we are prayer warriors, like we literally pray, like that is what saves us. That is what we know, that's what we turn to, that's what we lean to. So when people come and they're like, well, we use this and use it's probably sometimes people are like, what? They can't understand that we really work with prayer over here. And I feel like don't get lost, don't get lost trying to be found, like don't be lost.
It's interesting because my mind and my intuition it just drifts into very, very high vibrational things. And one is this: in the culture of Ethiopia, they survive by an energy called cooperativism, right? It's so beautiful. It shows me how they have preserved a certain energetic perspective of God that's very powerful, right? But they live meager. And in a cooperative, everybody has to do their part. And everybody got to spend one day of the week working with the sick and disabled. This is how their communities ran. They call them cooperatives, right? And it's beauty because that's the harmony of spirit. If you feel like you need a ritual to reach spiritual power, right? Now, I'm not saying, I'm not a judge, right? I'm not a judge. God didn't give me the power to do so. But I can tell you what I know, right? From past life to this life. True connections to the divine have nothing to do with a ritual, right? A ritual is also a demonstration of a lack thereof in many ways, right? Particularly, baneful rituals. It suggests the person performing baneful rituals suggests a lack of power, first of all. It suggests that they're going to move into a defeated energy, first of all. Why? Because it's done from a dark place. See, things that have victory don't come from dark areas. Things of spiritual nature that are victorious, they come from light areas of truth. So when people do rituals from dark places, it's an ultimate suggestion spiritually of a weakness. This is why a lot of that stuff only work when a person doesn't know. The minute the person becomes aware of it, it causes a spiritual shift. It's called the change in the wind.
That's right.
Like when God blesses a person to understand the depth of a spell that may have been sent at them, that's truly a blessing. As many people cross over without ever knowing what's wrong with them. So when God bless you with that insight, it changes the spiritual dynamic, just you knowing, just your knowing, right? Because spiritually it means somebody was caught, right? Is what it means.
Okay. Something else I wanted to say, also just be careful, God has also been given to me how, evil truly loves to be in disguise because it's ugly. It gets real raw, real ugly, real dirty. And so there has to be a mask, because if you could see behind, the beauty of what you think you see, you would be scared. You would be disgusted. You would be like, what in the world is going on here? So evil has to dress things up, And that's why it's so tricky when you still are in your fleshly ways and all you can see is things on the surface. You will be tricked every time. It's very important to, I can't stress enough, and I know I probably say it every day, but it's so important for you to use your spiritual eyes to try the spirit by the spirit, to ask God when, people are giving you different things to do, and the devil is always trying to convince you that he's not around, he's not in your life. Even when we're like, oh, we're not that bad of a person, or I'm good to people, right? But we can't see those evil things in us that we still have, right? So evil loves to mask itself. Even when people are having you do different rituals and different things, they dress it up, they make it look pretty. They tell you, for I'm just gonna use, I'm not even gonna use that. Spirit says don't do it, but just be careful. There's a lot of things out here that are just dressed up. It's an illusion. It's not real. It's not going to save you. It's not going to help you. It's not going to get you further in life. The only thing that's going to help you is really putting in work, really believing, really doing something, really changing a thing, really putting in effort. Like, none of those other things. Well, I will tell you this, the shortcuts, they'll take you where you want to be temporarily. But if you're looking for longevity, if you're looking for something stable, something solid, something that you can feel proud of once it's received, something like that, then, it's best for you to just do things the right way and understand that, things take time. Your prayer works. God's not going to answer you in an hour every time, and sometimes it could be 5 minutes that you're answered. However, once you send that prayer up and you put in the work, that's the important part. We can't preach prosperity and abundance without the work behind it. So doing the work leads to results. It says that when you do the work, you will heed results, and whatever it is that you're doing. So just don't be confused out here. I'm so sick and tired of people being confused. And if you are in the spiritual community and you understand this, kudos to you, because there are so many people that have left one thing to go to another thing that they totally don't understand, but it's a fad, it's a fashion statement. It's put out as, oh, this is feminine energy, this makes you divine feminine, this makes you divine masculine, this gives you power, so people are doing, using and doing all kinds of things to deceive you, okay? Do not be deceived in this world. The world will use you and abuse you, chew you up, spit you out, and confuse you, right? Literally, So, really be mindful of things. Start taking a moment to think about things. Don't answer questions so quickly. Start really letting things resonate in your spirit. How does it feel when someone comes to you with this information? How do you feel when someone asks you to practice this? Or, how is it resonating with you? Because God speaks to everyone. I know some of you guys are like, well, I haven't heard from God. I don't know when God is speaking to me. You know when God is speaking to you, because when someone says something to you that's not right and doesn't resonate with your spirit, you feel it. Like, you know it in your spirit as soon as it's said, as soon as something approaches you that is off, you can feel it. So, use your best judgment and do not be deceived out here. It's so many illusions. The world is full of it right now. These are the times that were spoke about, right? It's not like it's hidden. This is knowledge that's already been put out for us. These are the times that are here right now. Don't be deceived by these eyes. I feel like, between the eyes deceiving people and the people deceiving people with all the different practices, the world has become confused.
Okay. Shedding of mask, number 5.
There we go.
This is an intricate one, and it says low vibrational coping mechanisms. Right. So I was like, well, what is that? And Spirit said the lowest of all, projection, very low vibing. The energy of projection is a coping mechanism, right? And I'm going to explain to you how, right? Let's say you got a person in the world and they got everything. They got all the materials, they got all the money, but let's just say they have a quirk that nobody knows about that makes them feel insecure, right? So what happens when a person like this, that's kind of like a controlling person, when they meet that one person that may not have anything but the one thing that makes them insecure, they'll project onto that person even harder as being inadequate. This is an energy that's flung around spiritually. Like, People will look at other people and put them down, even if it's a person that has a great, like, for instance, take an envious heart person that comes into contact with an authentic person that has a great, like, for instance, take an envious heart person that comes into contact with an authentic person. They can see a person that has potential, and some people, they will instantly begin to project onto that person all the things that hold them up. They make emphasis on it because why? It's a low vibration. Some people cope like that. Some people do not feel like they can live an effective life without having somebody to talk down to, without having somebody to look down. Some people are the catalyst for communications against people. Like, some people literally are the go-to for other people. Like, people come to them, right? They might hold a place of status and all of that, and people come to them with information, gossip, and all of that, right? And this person that passes it, it's a projection, it's a coping mechanism, and it's a very, very low, it's a low vibing mechanism, and it's a big mask, right?
Yeah, it's also a reflection of ourselves, the insecurity in self. When we have to insult other people, when we have to, do anything negative to another person to make ourselves feel good, that means we definitely need to be checking on ourselves, right? We need to be figuring out what's wrong with us that we have to do this, because I've been there before. I've been low vibrational, right? I've been a low vibrational person where I could see the flaw in everyone except for myself, right? So I'm just speaking about me. Well, I had to learn, God had to humble me. Well, you better see what's wrong with you as well, right? Because sometimes it's easy to see things about other people, but when it comes to self, like, we don't want to really look at self, right? We want to look at ourselves as being that perfect partner, that perfect mother, that perfect friend, right? Even though we can say, oh, I know I'm not perfect, but we portray to be that perfect because our ego, we're beings with ego. And so I think it's very important, that we speak about that, because anytime we're projecting things onto other people, it's truly a reflection of self and our own insecurities.
Also, I want to speak about this because I was just thinking a little bit further, a little ruminative, Sun Tzu says in the Art of War, choose your enemy wisely, for you will become them, right? Choose your enemy wisely, or you will become your enemy, right? I found this to be true in life. So let's just say I'm a man. I'm gonna use me. I'm really feeling like it's feminine energy, but I'm gonna use a man just for the sake of being balanced with it. Let's say I'm a man, and I have been hurt in life by women before. So I developed in my set, right? This is a mask. I developed deep within me a disdain for the feminine, right? For women, for all of the women that hurt me in the past, I developed a spirit that is now has disdain against the feminine. But what I won't realize if I don't get rid of that is that I am feminine. You will become what is your enemy. And this is the problem, and I want the feminists to switch it because I'm getting a download for feminine. Like, if you are a feminine and you have been scarred by a man, right? And you effectively now see all men as inadequate or incapable of whatever, right? Whatever you do, when you hold that resentment, you're not in the feminine air, but you spending more time in the masculine. And that's why women who carry that kind of energy, they have wars with their sons. You know why? Because that resentment that you hold, that puts you in that masculine energy for the men that hurt you, that's what you demonstrate from your heart. Out of your mouth going to flow the issues of your heart. So when you see your son developing into the man that hurt you, you're going to wage war. Or your son's going to wage war with you, because the male will begin to feel it early. Like, I'm just saying that because it's relevant, right? And it's a mask.
It's the spirit at work.
It's a mask. Like, it's time for us, men and women, to sit down with the people that we with or by ourselves and willfully say, look, I was crushed and I was battered and I was bruised, and for real, in this area I need healing, or I'm struggling in this area. We do it. We've done it.
That's
I'm not
real.
saying nothing that's not possible. Like, but if you're not honest, you wearing a mask. You can't be a man that walk around and be like, I don't hate women. But yet still everything you do and everything the whole vibration is resentment towards women, right? No, it's time to be like, look, well, my mother dropped the ball. This woman, when I was 16, did something. Something happened when I was 12. But if you don't be honest, you gonna be behind the mask. You're not gonna ascend beyond that mask. That's a big mask right there, and we wear it. We wear it. We hold on to it. You gotta let the resentment go. In order for you to occupy your realm comfortably, you can't have enmity with the other realm. Like, I can't be at war with the feminine and be divine masculine. No more than you can be at war with the masculine and be divine feminine. And I'm learning the Shakti Shiva principle. These were two deities that were married. Shiva embodied the feminine energy. He looked like a girl in the face. You know the blue man of India, the blue god? Well, he got a wife and he got a family. And Shiva, he was able to do, but Shakti was able to bounce it right back with the masculine, but she was a woman. But the balance right, and it's a lot that goes to it, but it helps me learn, like, essentially a fervent breakdown of the yin and yang energy. And what I'm learning as I'm going further is that you can't have resentment for one realm, or that realm will consume you. If you have disdain for the feminine, you will be consumed by feminine attributes. Just like if you have disdain for the masculine, you will come through life with a, thank you, Spirit. Look at some of the feminines that came through life with disdain for the masculine. They be bumped, bruised, and cold-hearted, scarred. Why? Because they essentially became consumed by the masculine. The same way with some men. Men go through life battered and bruised, going to war with women. Next thing you know, they be consumed by effeminate attributes. They argue, they fuss, they don't want strive into nothing that bears strength. They quiet around other men. All of this kind of energy, it goes into you becoming what you are at war with. So check yourself. Make sure you're not at war with the other realm.
That's real. Okay. And
hey,
that was
Winston,
your message.
how you doing there, Epic Sarah?
Wakanda for life. Hey.
Hey, y'all out.
Wakanda for life. That was your message, y'all. We just wanted to come through really brief for you guys. We hope that this message helped you guys. You know, you got some clarity, some understanding. You know, going forward in your journey, you're making sure that you're not sacrificing anything that you've been working hard towards, you know, trying to get somewhere, okay? So, you know, stick to the basics. Keep God first, okay? Keep your heart as light as a feather. Hey, and that was your message. Hey, yeah. Keep your spirit protected. Hey. Accept or rejected. Hey, hey. But that was the message. Hey, hey, hey. Show energy. Hey, all about your energy. Hey, we love you guys so much. Thank you guys for all of your support. We love you guys so much. It does not go unnoticed. It truly helps us get to, you know, what we're trying to do, you know, the mission, the goal, the purpose, you know. We have so much in store for elemental beings as God continues to deliver for us. We will be delivering for you guys. So all of our information is on our page. If you would like to reach out to us or to support our page, we greatly appreciate you. God bless you. Keep your spirit protected. And don't forget, there's nobody that can do it like you, boo. Hey. Yeah. Hey. And that was the live show.